What's going on, everybody? This is Brandon Hill, and today I'm going to show you how to make a remix in Maschine by using an acapella from a song. And this is the remix that I made here that we're going to work with.
I don't usually do this unless I'm drunk or I'm high, but I'm both right now. I don't usually do this unless I'm drunk or I'm high.
Okay, let's get into it. All right, so this is a song that I laid out here. Once you have all your scenes created, and then you lay out your arrangement. You have the intro, the build up here, a drop, a breakdown again, and a build up and so forth. So at this point you have this house song and you might want to create a remix out of it. And in this case, I did a hip hop remix. I threw the vocal of Both by Drake and Gucci Mane over this beat here. So what we're going to do here is going to pretend that this is from scratch. We're going to add a group called Vox for vocals, and we are going to create a clip that is going to go the length of the song for now, and we can adjust this later. But I imagine having this 8-bar intro right here, and then the vocal will come in. So now we need to get the vocal into Maschine, and we are going to do that by first getting the MP3 file for Both. So go to this source. I use Beat Source here whenever I'm trying to find the MP3. I'll add it to cart, I'll purchase it for $1.29. Least I could do when making a remix is support the artist. So you do that, you purchase it, and you're able to download the MP3. So here's my folder here. I have the download of Both by Drake and Gucci Mane, but it's the original song and you need to extract the vocal from it, the acapella. To do that, what I use here is this resource called lolol.ai. And what you're going to do is you're going to take the download or the MP3 file you just downloaded, you're going to drag it into here and give it a second to process. And what this is going to do, it's going to separate the vocals from the instrumental. It's not going to do a perfect job, as I'll show you, but it's going to be the best that you could probably get out there right now. And it's a paid service. You pay for the amount of minutes that you process. So I have this many minutes that I could process, but in my opinion, it's worth it and it's relatively inexpensive for one song. So it gives you this 1-minute preview right here from the vocal and instrumental. So let's play the vocal.
I got so many felonies, I might can't never go to Canada, but Drake said he gonna put some screen.
So you can hear that it's not perfect. There's still a lot of background noise.
So let me check my calendar. I just popped me one of.
But what you'll find is with the rest of the song, you typically won't hear much of this background noise. And like I said, it's the best you could work with. You're making these unofficial remixes here. It's nothing that you're going to release because you would have to get the vocal cleared anyway, the sample cleared, and then you would work with more higher quality stems. So this is really just for your own personal work at home, just to have fun with. So at this point, we're going to process the entire file, and it's going to extract the 3-minute and 10-second vocal. And this is going to take a minute or two, so we'll jump forward to when this is completed. Okay, here we are. The entire file is now split. So what we're going to do is we're going to download this vocal, and now we have this MP3 of the vocal extraction. But this raises another issue because we can't drag an MP3 into Maschine. You could only drag WAV files and some other file format, but you can't drag an MP3 file into Maschine. So we need to convert this MP3 into a WAV file. And to do that, I use this resource here, cloudconvert.com. You're going to take this vocal acapella, you're going to drag it there and go to convert to WAV file. Now you're going to convert that and wait a minute for it to process. Download. Now you can see it's a WAV. Okay. Now the WAV file is downloaded. You'll be able to drag this here into the sound slot. So let me get this out of the way. So now you can see the extracted vocal is here in Maschine. But we have this clip created right here and it's empty because if I go to plugin, it's currently in sampler, the sampler module. So what we want to do is hit this 40 encoder in, change it to audio module. So audio load. Now you can see the waveform, the vocal is here and it's active. So now we have this vocal, but the next step is that we need to, 1, get it in the correct tempo, and then 2, we need to line the vocals up so it starts, right here and it sounds fluid and it sounds like something that's pleasing to the ear. So one thing we're going to work with here is when you turn it from sampler into audio module, it's going to try to predict the source tempo of this original song. So what's the tempo of, Both by Drake and Gucci Mane? It's not related to the tempo of the beat here. which is at 126. So when I download the original song, I'll look here and it says 70 beats per minute. So I know that this song was originally 70 beats per minute. But what I could do here is I could enter a 140, which is 2 times 70. So this vocal would essentially be in double time. And now the tempo is going to be in sync with what the beat is at here. So now the next part is to just trim down this clip here. We could cut out these 2 bits right here because it's just kind of like an ad lib and then Metro Boomin's DJ tag. So now this is going to be an iterative process where we are trying to line up the start of the vocal with the part of the song that we want to start it at. So I want the vocal to start right around here after this intro. So I'm going to drag it here. And like I said, this is going to be an iterative process. And you want to look at the start of each waveform and you kind of want to get it on the grid here. You see how this lines up with the end of the 9th bar, start of the 10th. And then we're just going to play the song and adjust it until we know that it sounds right. And you'll hear it when it sounds good. So let's see. I got so many feelings on my case. So that it started a little too late. So I'm going to adjust it over 1/16. And you can see here on my grid that I have it set to 1/16. So when I drag it, it's going to snap to the next 1/16 to the left. So let's try this again. I got so many feelings. Okay, it's still late. Hopefully this next one is it. I got so many feelings I can't never go to counter. Double Drake said he gonna put some. Okay, so you hear how that sounds good and it's on beat. All the words are hitting on beat. So now we have everything in place. At this point, we're going to process the vocal. And first, I'm going to turn it down in the mixer. I got so many feelings I can't never go to counter. Double Drake said he gonna put some screens, so let me check my calendar. That sounds a little better. And I think I want to add a reverb to this vocal. So let me add a reverb and let's play this reverb and I'm going to adjust the mix level as it plays. I got so many feelings I can't never go to counter. Double Drake said he gonna put some screens, so let me check my calendar. I just popped me one of them what you right now. Got me talking about my life. Okay, so we have the reverb added, and one thing I'm hearing is that it sounds a little out of tune because the vocal's in G minor and this beat is in a different key. So I'm going to go to audio here, and what I'm going to do is with this tune here, I'm going to adjust the semitones. I'll adjust it down 1 semitone, and I think that might do it. So you hear that? Okay, so there's that. And you could do additional processing to the vocal. You could EQ some things with the stock EQ. Lately, I've been loving using Isotope's Neutron 4. So let me pull this up. And what you could do with Neutron 4 is you could use this AI assistant. And what it's going to do, it's going to listen to the vocal here. And it's going to make an effects chain to make that vocal sound better. So let's try this out. I got so many feelings I can't never go to counter. Double Drake said he gonna put some screens, so let me check calendar. I just popped me one of them what you callers and it boosted. So it recognized that it's a vocal and it's processed it according to this line, which is the profile of what most vocals sound like. So you have a little less low end, you have some low mids and so forth. And then it creates this effects chain. So you have Sculptor, you have this dynamic EQ. And then some compressors and so forth. So that's something you could tinker with, but we're really talking about the remix here. And at this point, we have a good remix. And we have what I call a lazy remix because all we did here was add the vocal over this beat. And everything sounds good because I have this arrangement laid out already. But when you're playing the vocal, you might need to adjust your scenes. You might need to adjust where the drop is, where the breakdown is, so it can flow with the original song here. So the way I have this set up is that I have this build up, so it's completing the verse, and then when it goes to the drop, it goes to Drake's hook. You ain't gotta fuck with me, my nigga, but you start with me. Like how you call the cops on me, my nigga. You grew up with me. I don't usually do this unless I'm drunk, I'm high. So that's something you could adjust, and then right here I have this breakdown that kind of goes into Drake's verse.
had a drink, yeah, I smoke. Yeah, you think I need you, but I don't.
And then it goes into a build-up again, and it's a different build-up from the first part.
I should be able to get about me. I don't usually do this unless I'm drunk or I'm high, but I'm both right now. Got me talking about my life. I don't usually do this unless I'm drunk